So you got a new 3D printer and you're looking for something easy to make, but also pretty cool? Let's check out this helmet. Stick around and I'll show you my slicing settings and how I did it. Alright, first things first, I got this file from Do3D. It's a great website. It's a paid for file. When I picked it up, it was not $30. I picked it up on sale. This file does go on sale quite a bit, or they do have sales quite a bit, so just check it out. It's a great website for high quality files that you do pay for, but this is a key thing in this print. You want a high quality file, and that's what you're going to get. So I'll be sure to link this down below in the description, so just check it out there. It's a fantastic website. All right, so what I've done first is I go ahead and I just drop the main shell in. As you can see, the darker areas, this is not going to work. It doesn't fit, so we're going to have to play with it a little bit. I do know with this file, I need to make it a little bit bigger for my head size, so I typically go about 105, and that fits pretty good for me. Play with it a little bit. It's a really easy print, so if you have to print it twice, that's okay. But if you know how to, not calibrate, but you know how to use the calipers, then make sure you do that, and you can size this to you perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and rock this back. Okay, get rid of the top, and then we're gonna go for the front. We're just gonna play with it a little bit here and see what we do. We might want to go the other way. Typically, I like to point it to the camera, just because it looks nicer on a time lapse. But if we can't get that to fit, then we'll go like that. All right, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna be using my 0.16 millimeter optimal build settings. I'll be sure to link that above, so check out that video, and it'll kind of go through all my settings for that. They're fantastic. Okay, go ahead and use it. All right, so the reason I think this is a great file is because if you look at it, it is a textured print. And textured prints are amazing. You can hide anything in the texture, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second when I show you my build of the Deadpool helmet. So this is where I'm going to go. I'll go ahead and add all the other plates, and then when I'm ready to print, I'll slice it, and I'll show you how long it's going to take and how much filament it will be using. So let's go ahead and get that, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so I just got everything done, set up the way I want it to print. Just to go over some things real quick. So we saw me put the head down. I'm going to put these next three pieces together because they're going to be using the same color filament because they're the part of the main shell. Just make sure when you're adding these new parts in, you're also scaling those up. I've done it a few times where I forgot that I scaled up the main part, and then I print out the little auxiliary pieces and they don't match. So make sure you guys are scaling up still, so that doesn't cause any issues. With these eyes, this is the way I put them. They just go straight up and down. That seems to be the quickest. And then the mesh eyes right here. If you've never used mesh eyes before, they're great. You can see through them, no issues there. So there, with this file that I'm going to be linking in the description, there's tons of eyes to go with it. It's just personal preference, whatever you want. I just want the regular looking eyes, but there's a lot of different ones. So I'm going to go ahead and click slice, and then we will look at the numbers. All right, so let's look at these numbers. So in all, it's going to cost about $20 if you're using Bamboo Labs filament. I'm not, but that's the numbers I use. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper with my filament that I use. I use Sunlu, and Sunlu is typically about $7 cheaper. So do the math there. First plate, it's going to take 1 day. Okay, that does seem like a lot of time, but I promise you, if you go slow, just basic settings, but I'm talking like smaller layer height, your print is going to turn out amazing, and I'll show you what my print looks like up close and personal here in a second. Second plate with the auxiliary pieces, sides, and the back, that's going to take 17 hours. Third plate, which is just the mesh eyes. That's going to take 30 minutes. And then fourth plate is going to take 3 hours. It's going to take 4 hours, okay? Let's look at this plate real quick. Typically with these mesh eyes, the only thing you really need to worry about is having enough contact surface with the bottom here. These circles, they're gonna form. Okay, same kind of concept as the helmets. You don't need to have a support in these circles because it's an arch and it's slowly building inward. It's not a flat surface. Okay, it's arched, and so it's going layer by layer, bit by bit. So you don't need to really worry too much with that. These eyes, the little pieces, the biggest thing I would say is make sure you have enough contact area with the bottom right here. That will probably be the biggest point of failure. If something budges or breaks loose, then you'll have some problems there. And then also make sure these eyes right here are well supported. Okay. Other than that, the print should come out pretty good. In my last video, I always talked about with main shells, you don't need to really worry about printing the middle part of a helmet. This part right here, if you don't want to put that in there, you don't have to put that in there. It will look a little bit ugly, but no one's going to notice but you. So if you want this, then keep it. If you don't want it and you want to save some time in filament, you're probably going to save a couple hours and a couple dollars worth of filament. So I'm going to go ahead and get that printed. I'm going to put the time lapse in, and we're going to... There is no time lapse. Deal with it. All right, so first things first, I'm sorry about the noise on the camera. I'm just using webcam, so it's not the best. So let's just bear with me, all right? But here is my Deadpool helmet. Okay, comes out in individual pieces. I'll show you what I did with the magnets. So let me just take it apart real quick. Comes off. Okay, so I just printed it off. I upscaled it a little bit, and I had these magnets fit perfect. So I just put some super glue in there, and they're holding perfectly. If you look at the main shell, which is right here, okay, same thing. You can pop out an eye if you want, and you can replace with other eyes based on whatever situation you're going to. I did spray paint this. This was gray. The spray paint I used was just a cranberry Rust-Oleum, I believe, but it matches Deadpool's helmet perfectly. And so I like it. I'm going to keep using it. If I make more Deadpool helmets, that's the kind of spray paint I'm going to use. If you guys have questions on paint or anything like that, ask below down in the description. I do quite a bit of painting. But this build was super simple and easy. I did nothing. I didn't sand it or anything. I merely put down my settings, how I have it. Again, I'll link those above in the description. And I clicked print, and then I painted it. And the paint was minimal. Quick spray paint, maybe took me 30 minutes. Okay. But you could have a perfect Deadpool mask / helmet in a week's time, maybe. You could have that done really quickly. So if you guys haven't done a 3D print like this yet, I encourage you guys to make a Deadpool helmet, especially this one. This was a good starter. Okay. So if you have any questions, comment down below in the descriptions. If you guys have any future video ideas for me, comment that down below. Leave a like. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click subscribe. I appreciate you guys. I'm Queso.